Welcome back to Property Management Madness. Property management is crazy. So let's talk about it. Pull up a seat, pull up a drink. We'll wait while you get ready. Okay, I'm your host, Shauna.
And I'm your co-host Jay.
And today, Jay, I think we should talk about red flags.
This is a good subject.
I love red flags. Um, okay, so we have this is going to be industry red flags. So this is owners, tenants, properties,
Prospects.
prospects, I guess ourselves. I didn't write any of those down, but I could give you a handful of them. Okay, so Jay, I think
We'll
that
give them your red flags and leave my red flags
okay, well that's fine. Okay.
alone.
Okay. So I think that you could go and then I can go and then we could just banter in between because that's what we're really good at. So all right. So number one red flag is I have to say this one because we just while we were practicing did this one and it was an owner calls you. Okay. We're gonna set the scene. Owner calls you, says, "Hey, I need a management company." And you're like, "Okay, perfect." They give you the address. You go to 123 Wagon Wheel Drive. There's a tarp on the roof. Red flag. Red flag.
Oh my God. Not even just a tarp. There's been so many things I've walked up to a prospective home and seen. I've seen no stairs on a porch. I've seen missing windows.
Red
And I
flag.
heard from the tenant that's living there, oh, it's been like that forever.
Red flag.
I think I don't want to manage that property.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Or when you walk up to the house and the door has clearly been kicked in the night before. Well, hopefully the night before. Otherwise, there's probably rodents in it. And then, like, your hot water heater and your furnace is gone. And you're like, oh,
It's so
red
much
flag.
worse when you walk into one and the tenant is still actually living there with no hot water tank or furnace.
Yeah. Red flag. Red flag.
Major red flag. Don't
You,
manage
you
that.
walk into a house and the tenant doesn't have any water because they haven't paid the water bill.
Red flag.
I swear, you guys, all of these things have actually happened. They are not hypothetical.
And we could
They
go
have
on and on.
literally happened to either Jay or myself. Um, yeah, it. Let's just keep going.
All
Okay, Jay, you're next.
right. You have a conversation with a prospective owner,
Yep.
want to start the onboarding process,
Yep.
but they have absolutely no reserve and
Oh,
can't fund anything.
red flag.
They expect everything to be taken out of the rent when the tenant pays rent.
Is the property rented? No.
Oh no, the property is rented, but the tenant's also 5 months behind.
Okay. Red
Red
flag.
flag.
Red flag.
Right there, I'm gonna say, okay, where's my management fee gonna come from?
Yeah.
Where's the maintenance reserve? How
Oh,
are we going to pay for anything?
right. No, you're
Red
not.
flag. I think
Once
no.
you collect that 5 months rent that's not, the other management company or the owner themselves hasn't been able to collect, I'm sure they're just going to come up with it and then you'll get paid. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Red flag.
2 years down the road, we find a management fee.
Yeah, red.
No, no thanks.
Red flag.
I'm good to move on with that.
Okay, so this one's a tenant one. So or prospect rather. Prospect calls the office and is like, "Hey, I have cash in hand, but I don't want to go through the application process. I don't want to have to verify my income or my employment, but I'll pay for 2 years upfront in cash."
Oh, red flag. Big red
don't
flag.
don't do a background check, but listen, I got money in hand right now.
Oh no, no, no.
No,
No, no,
no.
no.
Don't do it, guys. Don't. Anybody that's in that situation is in that situation for a specific reason. And 90% of the time, the reason they don't want to go through the application process is because they don't qualify
Yes.
and
They
you do
know you're gonna
not
find things
want
that
to rent to them.
yeah. They already know
No.
you're gonna find something that's gonna disqualify them,
Oh, yeah.
and they just think, "Cash in hand,
Yep.
it's fine."
Exactly.
It's not
They're all
fine.
consecutive bills. They got like blue ink on them. I got cash in hand, guys.
And listen, any owners listening, I know cash in hand
Sounds
sounds great.
great.
It sounds great. I'm
It
gonna get a
does.
year up front. I'm gonna get 2 years up front. The person doesn't qualify for a reason.
Yep.
you may get cash in hand and then find your house completely destroyed
Yep.
or something illegal going on
Yep.
or any number of other things for the reason that they didn't want a background check done on them.
Yep.
Don't do it. Red
Oh,
flag.
oh, red flag. All right, Jay.
Um, owner prospect, owner prospect red flag.
Yep.
Um, owner comes to you, wants to rent out their house, first time landlord,
Yep.
lived in the house for their entire lives and now wants to rent it out.
Childhood home.
Yes.
Oh no, no. That's a red flag. I'm not saying so I just want to preface this that okay, we're not saying that these people are going to be bad tenants, bad prospects. I mean, unless obviously they don't qualify, or they're going to be bad owners. It's going to be a bad property. It's not necessarily that you should just write their business off. Okay,
Mhm.
it's not. But people who lived in the house their entire like their childhood home or they lived in the house before they want to rent it out have an emotional
Ugh,
attachment
oh
to
my
that
god, we've seen
house
it so many times.
and it's a red flag. Not
I
necessarily saying you don't want to do it as a manager or a management company, but it's an animal.
be
It's an
ready for
animal.
it, be ready for what's coming your way, and have a conversation with the
Oh
owner
my
prospect,
god.
just making them aware that this is no longer the home you live in and
Yep.
somebody else is going to live here and make it their home.
Yep.
So, going forward, you cannot just nitpick everything because you want it to be the way you made it when
Yeah.
you lived there.
Yep. Okay, tenant prospect. Um when their application fee gets returned for NSF. That has happened so many times, and then they call and they're like, "Where what's going on with my application?" We're
Um,
like, "Well, we didn't start processing it because you didn't pay for it." They're like, "Oh, well, yeah, I was in, like, a bind, but, like, I need a place to live, like, yesterday."
the
"I
worst thing
bet you
is when they
do."
pay it again and it
And it bounces
declines
again,
again.
and it
And
bounces
then they try and
again.
bring you a money order. This won't bounce, I promise you. Well,
I'm
yes, I
really not
know it's a money
interested
order,
at
but at
this
this point,
point.
I've moved on to another
I know,
qualified
I'm
applicant.
really not interested at this point.
I'm going to advise you. I mean, use your own judgment.
Yeah.
You all know what you're doing, but use sound judgment in approving that person
Yeah.
because I've had it. I've had it
If your
happen.
$30 application fee isn't gonna go through, what
Yeah.
makes me think that your $950 rent is gonna go
I've
through?
had it happen, and then they
Oh,
go and they pay all their moving costs online. We finally move forward.
and it
It
bounces.
all bounces. Now they've moved in. Now they
And they're
have a signed
squatters.
lease, and now they squatted for a year and a half
Yep.
because the court systems move very
Slow right
slowly
now,
for
yeah.
evictions. So just something to keep in the back of your head
Oh god.
when screening and looking at those things.
All
It's a
right.
big red
Oh
flag.
yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. When the potential prospect asks, "How cool is the manager?"
Oh, you just left the
Oh,
apartment cuz like so let's break it down. Like how cool is this is the manager? Like I'm curious. Like what is the last day I can possibly pay? And when do you guys start evicting people?
oh my god. You asked me that question before you even moved in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find a reason to decline you. I'm sure there's a reason in your file
Oh god.
because that is a major red flag.
Red flag.
Like,
Red flag. Yeah, you
no.
won't have to find a reason. It will show up.
Yeah.
Typically, it will
Oh
show
yeah.
up.
Look at the background.
Oh
I'm sure
god.
there's something in there.
Oh god.
Are you having fun?
Yeah. So prospects that call, they haven't even applied, but they call and leave really long, weird voicemails. And they're like, "Hey, I saw your house at 123 Wagon Wheel Drive, and it would be perfect for me and my family. And I just want to know what the application fee is because we're really interested in moving forward, but I don't know when I'm going to be able to put the application in because, like, my mom, she's incarcerated, and then my baby daddy, he doesn't know if he's going to be living with me yet, but I got custody of the kids, so it's just going to be us. And then My dad might live with me, but can he stay for like a little bit because he's gonna be babysitting a lot? So I got a lot of questions, but all I get is child support. Is that okay? Well, I'm thinking about getting a job though, so I am gonna qualify. That's not gonna be a problem. But when my mom gets out, she's had been incarcerated. Is it gonna be okay if she moves in with me? She's a felon though, so I need to know if that's okay before I put my application. And then it's like it just keeps going on and on and on and on. And you're like, ma'am, you didn't even apply yet. I've just listened to this voicemail and it is 12 minutes long. And I know all about your life.
I feel like there are a lot of red flags there. And listen, we are not like saying there's anything wrong with anything. Everybody has a past.
Everybody has a thing going
Everybody
on, right?
has, different things going on. Lots of people that apply to live at houses might be getting their income from child support or whatever it
Right.
might be. There's nothing wrong with any of that.
No.
But when you're a prospect or
You
not even a
just,
prospect that hasn't even applied and you call and leave me your life story,
yeah. Yeah. That's a bit of
just
a red flag.
apply.
Just
Just
apply.
apply. Just that's all
Yeah.
you need to do. The only part of your life story I need is your application and background check.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I need. That's what I'm looking at. That's what the decision is based off of. Don't give me any other
Right.
information.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
if it's important information, like somebody's
we'll
gonna be
ask for
living,
it.
yeah, if somebody's gonna be living with you, have them apply too. It's fine. Like if you change your mind, that's okay. I don't. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't need your whole life story. I couldn't tell you how many times that's happened to me, and every single time I get a good giggle out of it. And then I just end up calling them back. And I'm like, "Hi, I got your message. I'm happy that this was a good fit for you. Um, as long as you feel like you meet the tenant criteria, apply. Put in your application and we'll go from there, okay?" And then they're like, "Oh, okay, great. I didn't need to know all that about you." I mean, great, but I didn't need to know. I
And
didn't,
if
so.
you have a lot of questions
Oh god.
and
Don't
in
leave it
lieu
on
of
a
leaving that
voicemail.
long voicemail, just if most of the like if you're looking at
You
listings
got a lot of
online,
stuff going
most of
on.
the qualifications are
Are right
listed on
there.
the website. Look on the website and answer your own questions because when you just don't call and leave those
Oh,
kind of voicemails.
they're great though. I
Um,
love
I mean,
it.
it's entertaining
It is.
sometimes,
It
but
is.
it's better to just look at the qualifications and fill out the application. We'll get the information we need.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so this is another owner prospect. You have an owner that wants you to manage their home.
Right.
They have a lot of questions.
Mhm.
A lot of the things they're saying 100% violate fair housing.
Oh,
Like,
like those. I have had every single type of discriminating owner you could possibly
mm,
think of.
yep.
I don't want women living here. I don't want unmarried people
I
living
don't
here.
want
I don't want
kids,
kids. I don't want anybody that's going to be cooking
ethnic
smelly,
foods.
ethnic or smelly food. I
I
don't
have heard
want
it all.
every single thing. And they just have to be like, okay, well, George, I understand that you don't want to rent to the gays. However, this
That's not
home
an
is
option.
in also this home is in the gay capital of this state.
It's in
So
the neighborhood. You can't
it's
not
going
rent
to
to the
it's
gays.
going to happen. And second of all, I can't I like that's not enforceable and I would never do that. Like that's not going to happen. Don't tell me. Don't come at me and tell me this information about yourself. Like I'm a bigot and I don't want these people living here. Please don't tell me that.
Yeah.
As no, 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 no. As a client, please do not
Yes.
ever
And
have those kinds of things
if
exit
you
your mouth hole,
if you are
please.
that owner out there that wants to be that person, don't come to me.
Don't
Don't
come to
come to
me.
Shauna. We won't entertain that.
No.
We follow fair housing.
We follow fair
And
and we also
also,
have
like she brought up the gays. Don't discriminate against the gays. We're fun people.
we are fun people, but like we also have, that ethical requirement, that goes within
Yeah.
our job. It's not just, oh, we follow fair housing and we deem morally what's right and what's wrong. Like
Mm.
it's also you have to be ethical.
Yeah.
And
You can't just say
and you
no
can't
because you don't like
right.
it. this one thing, this one person, this one aspect of somebody,
Right.
that's not a reason to not rent to them,
No.
and it's illegal.
Yeah, absolutely illegal. And don't tell me to break the law for you,
Yeah.
because nobody is worth going to jail for. Not even
Yeah.
myself. So I don't even
Yes.
break the law
Sorry,
myself.
Shauna, I
So
would not go to jail
I
for
am
you.
not going to jail for you. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Next one. Um, my dog is a lab mix.
Sure it is. Send me a picture, please.
I'm sorry. Red flag. Red flag. Yeah. If it no, no. And it's probably, and the thing is that when people say it's a lab mix, it doesn't even look like a lab. It's like all the other types of aggressive breeds of dog mixed together,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
it's like,
To
this is
create this brand new aggressive breed of dog.
right. Universally
That's
considered
I was gonna
aggressive
qualify
breed of
that.
dog.
Yes.
It's
I
not
was
that
gonna
we
say
do
it's not
believe.
that we believe that they're aggressive.
Right. Like I have a dachshund, okay? That she is the most evilest dog I've ever had in my whole life. And you have two pit bulls,
Yeah, I
okay?
have 2
So,
pit bulls, one's a sweetheart, one's really dumb,
but they're both,
but
yeah,
they're both
great
really nice
dogs. Yeah.
dogs,
We love
and
dogs,
here's
but
the problem is that the animal breeds, the dog breeds that are considered universally aggressive
universally, yes,
breeds are not covered under homeowners insurance,
correct.
and that is why
Yep.
we have to decline people based on that because
Yep.
an owner's homeowner's insurance will not cover if, God forbid, that dog did bite somebody.
Mhm.
So, and even here, I am an owner occupant. I own my own home. My homeowner's insurance do not cover my dogs.
Right. So it's your liability, but it's also your animal.
Yeah.
And that's something that you have decided on your own that you're going to take responsibility for.
And
So,
I'm not going to say you can't ask. Some owners will
yeah, for
like
sure.
let it slide and say, yeah, you
Or
know
they
what,
have
I'll give it a
riders.
chance. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can ask,
Don't lie and
but
tell me it's a lab mix.
yeah,
Don't
don't lie because we're
don't
going to
lie.
know.
Don't tell me
We're
that.
going to know.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we do vet the animals that
Yeah.
are going to be moving into a house. So,
Yeah. Okay. Red flag. Okay. Owner prospect red flag, Jay. When an owner comes to you and they want you to, what is that noise? And they want you to manage their property.
sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, we don't edit this. This is just a live stream, so sorry. Okay. Um, owner prospect. Owner comes to you and says, "Hey, I want you guys to manage this property for me."
Mhm.
And then you're like, "Okay, great. I need you to show me proof of ownership." And they don't want to give it to you.
Red flag. Like,
There
what could
could
be the
be some
reasoning?
there could be reasons why you don't have it and you have to obtain it for
That's
sure.
understandable.
But to just say I'm not providing that to you, red flag. Red flag. And
Something may be wrong
I tell
here.
you, it only happens to a management company one time, that they will take, okay, I'll get it to in the future, whatever. And, things fall between the cracks, and then you realize that that person that you were managing the property for isn't the legal owner. They were only doing like a land
Mhm.
contract, and now things have happened to the property, like in our
And we've
situation.
dealt with this.
Yes,
We
exactly.
have
So
dealt with
this
this.
is like a land contract situation, and they don't actually have ownership, and they didn't have a copy of the land contract or anything like that. So yeah, that's a huge, huge red flag. Okay.
All right.
What's your next one, Jay?
My next one is a tenant prospect.
Okay.
So, tenant prospect has some questions for you before they apply or while they're applying.
Yep.
Their question is, how often do you inspect the home? And what happens if I change the locks?
Yeah, that's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, that's a red
Um,
flag. But
if
sometimes, I will say, sometimes they ask, how many times do you inspect? Because they have been other places where they inspect constantly. And
yes,
they
that
have
is true.
had like very invasive landlords in the past. So I can understand that.
But what does scare me about it
Yep.
is why do you need to know how often I expect? Number one, it is in the lease. It
It
tells you
is.
approximately how often we
Right.
inspect a home.
Mhm.
Um, but you want to what happens if I change the locks? Well, again, that's something that's outlined in the lease.
Yeah.
Most of the time, ask permission. Permission can be granted.
Yeah.
But I have gone to homes where, there's something shady going on. You go to do an inspection. They've changed the locks to two of the bedrooms, and they're keyed
They're
locks
keyed lock in the
that is
bedroom.
not allowed
Yep.
in a rental home, and they
Yep.
will not allow you into those
Yep.
bedrooms.
Or and
So
then, like,
what's
sometimes
going on?
the kicker is they live by themselves.
Yeah.
Well, they claim they live by themselves, but they have 3 bedrooms and all 3 of them are locked key locked bedrooms.
Yes, and you can't go in.
That sounds like a roommate situation
Mhm.
there. You found a roommate on Craigslist, didn't you? You just be honest. Just be
Uh,
honest with
and
me.
there I mean, we've
Tell me
had
what
so many
happened.
different
Yeah.
situations,
Mhm.
and, things like roommate
Right. Is there a
situations,
hostage in here? I need to
yeah,
know.
I mean, your mind goes there sometimes, especially when you're going and inspecting a home when the tenant's not there.
Mhm.
As we do enter homes when, the tenant might not be home. We
Yeah.
let you know we're coming to inspect the home. We
Right.
bring the keys, we go in. And you can't get into certain rooms,
Yep.
or like your mind does go places like,
You're
what's
like, I'm
going
gonna
on
get
in here?
kidnapped.
You know what? I heard a noise. Something's in there.
Yep.
But and it could be, they have an animal they don't want you to know about. They locked it up in the
Right.
room. It could be an illegal grow
Could
or
be.
a legal grow, but you're not allowed to have it in the rental home
Yep.
because the owner doesn't allow that.
Yep.
So there's a lot of reasons that people do it, but it
Mhm.
does send up the little red flag alert
Yep.
when you
Red
are
flag.
asking me those questions right up front.
Yep. Well, also, especially people who don't want to pay for their animals and they want to know, "Oh, do you guys ever do like surprise inspections? Like,
Do
why,
I need to?
what, what are you going to have in your house? Hmm?
Like
Hmm?
you just told me I
Hmm?
need to.
Red flag. Red flag. Yeah. Um, this one's a good red flag. We have a tenant prospect, one person, okay,
Mhm.
renting a 4 bedroom, 2 bath house with a basement by themselves.
Red flag.
That's a bit of a red flag.
What do you need all that extra room for?
Yeah. Nobody's living
So,
with you? Nobody? I mean, it could very well be.
well, some people are
But
loners that need a lot of room,
yeah. Yeah.
but also probably not.
Yeah, that
How many times have I seen that? How many times have you?
yeah.
I think I have it going on at one of my properties right
Right
now.
now,
It's
yep.
like, oh, I just have my kids, and kids aren't required to be on the lease. I don't know how many kids. You can have 5 kids. I don't care.
Yeah.
You have 5 kids. They're under the age of 18. They're not on the lease.
And
We
maybe
don't
you don't
count
have
them.
full custody of them or whatever,
We don't
yeah.
know, and that's totally fine.
It's not our
You have
business,
kids,
yeah.
not our business. But you get complaints from the neighbors that there's so many people in and out of this house. There's only one person supposed to be living there. What are
Yep.
you talking about? So
Hmm.
then it's on you as the property manager to go and figure out what's going on, send out demands if it's needed, send out a 30-day if it's needed, and like just trust your instincts on
Oh
certain
yeah.
things, because when those red flag alerts go up, I mean, you're an experienced property manager, hopefully,
Yeah.
and
And if you're
just
not,
trust
please
yourself.
listen to this episode again.
That's a lot of information. Oh, okay. So here's one. Boyfriend and girlfriend moving into their first rental home
Oh
together.
no. Are they young?
They're young. They're children.
Oh
They're
god.
babies.
Yeah. Like a fresh 18, 19-year-old couple.
Yes, they've been together a whole 6 months.
Oh god.
Hmm.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
That's a red flag. That's a red flag. And again, we're not discriminating against them because they're young. We're not discriminating against them at all, really. It's
Yeah.
just that these okay, so the reason why
It's
that's a
just we
red
know what
flag is
happens.
that people, yes, is that especially if it's a new relationship, and sometimes they will tell you if it's a boyfriend girlfriend moving in for the first time relationship. Whew, I couldn't tell you how many of those relationships don't last the full term of the lease.
Uh,
I just
and
every single time somebody's moving out, someone's mom's on the phone with me, someone cheated on someone, and then you got to remove someone, and then they're like, "Well, I got to find whoever's left." like I gotta find a roommate, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then you gotta cut. Like my dad might be paying the other part
Yeah.
of this, and
Now they
then
can't
like
afford
now
it because
it's
the other
just
person left,
yes,
or
yeah, they no
there's
longer
so
qualify.
many different
Yep,
things that could happen. And like she said, we're not discriminating against it.
we'll still
The
rent
young
to you, but we
relationships
know
still
it's
work out. We'll
yeah,
rent to you
yeah.
100%.
Oh,
But it
that's
is going to
yeah,
throw up red flags, and we're going to probably keep a little closer eye
on
on the
it. Yeah,
rent and make sure it's getting paid,
paid. Yep.
because things happen all the time,
Yeah.
especially in this industry, with when you are new to having
Hmm.
your own place,
Yeah.
when you're new in a relationship.
Yep.
Like, maybe let it, stand the test of time before you make that step.
Yeah.
Like, take it slow, maybe. But like you said, we'll still rent to you.
Yeah, yeah, we
It's
will.
just, it
But
does
a
throw
lot
up
of
red flags
times,
when we think
like
about it.
especially, I mean, this can just be people in general. This could be a married couple, a young
Yeah.
married couple, right? But they have no other rental history. That's also a red flag. So, that that alone too goes into it is we might need some co-signers now because you don't have any rental experience. So,
Yeah.
not
100%.
experience, rental
Rental history.
history. That's what it is. God. Oh yeah. Okay.
So this is another new tenant one.
Yep. New tenant.
So they call you up, or they complete the application, everything. Their only rental history is a family member.
Ooh. That can be a red flag depending on if it was their mom and dad or not. If
Yeah.
they lived with like their aunt or something like that, and again, this is just pure speculation based on things that have happened to me in the management business here. If they don't live with their like their parents, there's a reason they got kicked out. And the reason they need to leave their aunt's house is because she does not want them there anymore.
Yeah.
Typically. Sometimes
But
you just grow up and you get your own place, but you're probably gonna need
a
a
cosigner.
cosigner at
Yeah.
that point, yeah.
Especially like when you're young, you're getting out on your own. You want to get your own place, and that is great. I
Yeah,
100% support that.
yeah,
Independent. Everybody wants independence.
for sure.
But when you're applying, you also have to think that the people you're applying with, they may have a mortgage to pay. They have to cover themselves and make sure they're going with
Yeah,
the best qualified person
yeah.
that is also going to cover their end of things, because rental properties are a business.
Mhm.
These owners own properties, they're running a business,
Yeah,
and they have things that they have to pay as well, so they're going to make sure that everything is covered. So if you're going into this and you're not 100% sure that you can qualify on your own, have a co-signer lined up.
yeah,
It's really important.
absolutely.
Especially you're filling out the application, let them know right away that you have a co-signer. Have your co-signer apply with you,
Mhm.
because they do have to apply and be on the lease with you.
Yep.
But like we said, we're not saying it's a bad thing.
Mhm.
It's just it does throw up red flags because the owner of the property has to be covered as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off that red flag, and say that tenant prospect, but you never hear from the tenant prospect. You only ever hear from their mom.
Ooh, red flag.
Mom calls. I want to know what the application update is on my son's application, and you're like, "Ma'am, did you apply with him? How how old is your son? 32." And mom's calling. That's a red flag because we
Yes.
know that mom is going to call every single time you're going to be late. Mom's going to call because she went over to your house and you have maintenance. I
Mm.
mean, we're going to love mom at the end of the day because she's going to be calling for you, but
I think this
we
is
can't have a relationship with a
yeah.
tenant through their mom.
We're gonna love mom because she's a sweetheart.
Yes.
She's always very nice when she calls. Always
Yes.
very apologetic when her son
Unless
is
she's
late
not,
or
in which
daughter is
case you're like,
late.
"Okay, Carol,
Oh
I
yeah,
understand."
yeah. That happens too.
Yeah.
But also, mom's not on the lease, so we're not
Mhm.
really gonna be able to talk to her
Tell her too
anyways,
much. Yeah.
other than to say, thank you for calling. Have your son or daughter call
Right.
us. Let us know what's going on,
Right.
because unless you're named on the lease, we cannot discuss the
Yeah.
balance on the account or
Nope.
what's going on with it.
Nope.
I mean,
We'll take
happy,
your notes.
yeah,
We can take notes
yep,
from you,
happy
but
to take your notes
yep.
and your comments and do what we can with them. But if you're the one on the lease, please make sure you are the one calling me.
Yep. All right, Jay. So we're running out of time, but I think we can make another episode of this. So I think we will. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And again, if you're new to the industry, I listen to this episode again. And if
Oh,
you're
please
not
listen
new
to
to
it 5
and
times.
if you're not new to the industry, just listen to it again because it's hilarious. All right, we'll see you guys in a few.